page 1. Have you been with us when we did the full morning singing of all the songs? Well, what we do is before any meeting that we have, we sing a certain series of songs. Not always, anyway, in order to evoke auspiciousness. We start off, we say specific prayers to our specific teachers, and then we say prayers to our guru, to the saints and sages in our lineage, then to the Lord who incarnated in this age, then to Krishna and Radha. You're welcome. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Uttapara Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sanvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Radita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Om Agyana Timrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaham Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Sriman Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namane. Last one on that section. Shri Krishna Lina Katani Sudaksham Adharya Madhurya Guneshcha Yuktam Vuran Verdanyam Purushan Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasanamami Namaham Vishnupadaya Kesha Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Vamaniti Namane Gaura Bhava Mayo Deha Ujvara Rasa Bhavaka Bhaktivedanta Vamano Rag Bhakti Pravartaka Guru Damni Chasevasu Vaishnave Savadamati Grante Bhagavate Sakshat Goswami Vedante Rati Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Pushtatya Deshatarine Namaham Vishnupadaya Acharya Simharupine Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshavayati Namane Hatimacha Charitraya Swashitanam Chapaline Jivaduke Sadartaya Shinama Prema Dayane Kodashraya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamaika Charine Rupanuga Prevadaya Vinodeti Swarupine Prabhupadantarangaya Sarva Sadguna Shaline Mayavada Tamoganaya Vedantarta Vade Namaha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhurjvane Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Varudapasadanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaurakishoraya Sakshad Viragya Murtaye Vipralambada Sambode Padambo Jayate Namaha Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Godhavya Bhava Bhumestvam Nirjesta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Savabhomashri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpa Tirubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shirada Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Mategati Matsava Swaparambojo Shirada Madana Mohano Divyad Brindaranya Kapadrumada Srimad Radnagada Simhastanashto Srimad Radha Shiragovinda Devo Preshtari Bisevimano Smarami Srimad Rasana Sarami Vamshi Vata Tatashtitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinatta Shriestuna Vrindaye Talasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasyacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Page 23. Yeah? Krishna hoite chaturmukha Hoya Krishna sevan mukha Brahma hoite nara dera mahati Narada hoite vyasa Madhvaka he vyasa dasa Purna pragna padmana bhagavati Nihari madhava vamshe Akshubhya paramahamse Shishabani angi karakore Akshobhyera shesha jaya Tirtaname parichaya Taradasye gyana sindhu tore Tahoite dohya nidhi Taradasya vidya nidhi Rajendra hoyero tahoite Tahara kinkara jaya Dhamaname parichaya Parampara jana baramate Jaya Dhamadase kyati Shri Purushottama Jati Tawete Brahmanya Tirtha Sori Vyasati Tatara Dasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Tahoite Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Varashisha Varashi Eshvara Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Kedanya Koriranya Shri Chaitanya Jagaguru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Rupanuga Janira Jivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shiva Swami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajana Shiva Raghunatha Hana Tada Priya Kami Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vada Narottama Seva Pada Janapada Vishwanatha Asha Vishwanatha Bhakta Satta Baladeva Jagannatha Tarapriya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Mahabhagavata Vada Shri Goda Kishora Vada Hari Bhajanete Jaramoda Shri Vashabhana Vivada Sada Sevya Seva Pada Taradayita Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Rupanuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragyana Gauriya Vedanta Veta Maya Varota Mohanta Gauravani Prachara Chadama Pracharino Gauravani Bhakti Vedanta Swami Puradino Prabhupada Kama Kesha Priya Mahajana Vamanana Dayanhana Gauravani Tade Pranandana E Sabha Hari Jana Gaurangera Nija Jana Tadena Uchiste Morakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. Page 36. Vrindavanavasi Jato Vaishnaveda Gana Pratame Vandana Kori Sabara Chalana Nilachala Vasi Jato Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Pauriya Vando Sabara Charana Navadvipavasi Jato Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabara Charana Vando Hoyanurahakta Mahaprabhu Bhakta Yato Gaura Deshe Stiti Sabara Charana Vando Gauriya Pranati Jedeshe Baise Gaurangera Gana Udvabahu Kori Vando Sabara Charana Hoyachena Hoy Vena Prabhuyato Dasa Sabara Charana Vando Dante Korigasha Brahmandatorite Shaktin Dare Jane Jane Evera Purane Guna Gaya Jevashune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabapati Dapavana Taido Bemui Papido Inusharana Vandana Korite Mui Kato Shakti Dori Tamo Buddhi Doshe Mui Damba Matra Kori Tatapi Mukera Bhagya Mare Rahulasa Dokshakshami Mohandame Koro Nijadasa Sava Vancha Siddhi Hoy Yama Banda Chute Jagate Durlabha Hoy Prem Dana Lute Manera Vasana Puna Achirate Hoya Devaki Nandana Dasa Edo Bekoya Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Page 200. And we're going to do the second song on that page, but we're going to start first with 2 prayers to the Lord and His associates. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vanderupa Sanatana Dasara Gunata Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Bhattara Gunata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya Kori Swarpashada Sviya Dhamma Sahavatari Atyanta Durlabha Prema Gauri Bhare Dana Shikaya Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana Danya Atmani Vedana Gomtrip Vevarana Avashadakshi Krishna Vishvasapanahana Bhakti Anukula Matra Kayera Svikada Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoi bejara Tahara pratana shune Shinanda kumara Rupa sanatana pade Jante trina kori Bhakati vinoda pade Duparadori Kandiya Kandiya Bole Amito Adama Shikaye Sharanagati Karahe Uttama Jaya Swaparashada Jaya Godahari Swaparashada Jaya Godahari Jaya Swaparashada Jaya Godahari Swaparashada Jaya Godahari. So I'll read the English that out of compassion for the living beings, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna in this age, descended in this world along with his personal associates and divine abode, in order to bestow the extremely rare treasure of Prem Bhakti. He taught Sharanagati, which is the life and soul of the devotees, humility, submission to the self, acceptance of the Lord as one's only maintainer, faith in Krishna's protection, acceptance of acts favorable for Bhakti, and rejection of that which is unfavorable. The son of Nanda Maharaj hears the prayers, so Krishna hears the prayers of whoever embodies these 6 limbs of surrender. With a straw between his teeth, Bhakti Vinod, the writer of this song, prostrates himself before Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan, embracing their lotus feet. Weeping, he says, I am the lowest of men. Kindly teach me unconditional surrender and make me an excellent Vaishnav. So, since we're going to do Dashavatar Stocham, I'm going to do Nitai and Gaur together. Page 86. Gauranga bolite habe Puraka sharira Hari Hari bolitena Yani babenira Adaka benitai chader Karuna hoibe Samsara vasana mora Gabetu chahabe Vishaya chadiya kabe Shurahabe mana Kabe hamahe rabo Shri Vrindavana Rupara Gunata Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabehama Buja Bose Jugala Piriti Rupara Gunata Pade Rahumorasha Pratana Karuye Sada Narottama Dasa Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Gaurahari Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Raghbandri, do you know Das Avatar Shkocham melody? What? Thanks. Do you know the melody? Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you do it? I don't know.
Vasanti, we need you. Start from the beginning. Varaha Deva Maha-Dvadasi. Palaya payodi jale tritavana shivedam. Titavaki chachari tramakedam. Keshavadrita mina sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Titiri Havipula Ture Tishtati Tava Prishte. Tarani Dharana Kina Chakra Garishte. Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna. Shashani Kalakkalevani Magna. Keshavadrita Sukara Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Tavakara Kamala Varena Kama Bhuta Shingham. Dalita Hiranya Kasipu Tanu Bringham. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Chalaya Sivikramane Balimad Bhuttavamana. Varanaka Nirajanita Janapavana. Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Chatriya Rudira Maye Jagadapagata Papa. Tapayasi Jayasi Shanita Bhavatapa. Keshavadrita Bhigupati Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vitarasi Dikshurame Dikpati Kamaniya. Dashamukha Moli Bali Mamaniya. Keshavadita Rama Sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vahasiva Pushri Vishade Vasanam Jaladaba. Halati Vuli Milita Jamunaba. Keshavajita Halatara Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Indasya Gavire Raha Shuti Jatam Sadaya Hidoya Dashita Pashugatam Keshavajita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Nilechani Vahani Dane Kalayasi Karanala Tumake Tumiva Kim Api Karala Keshavajita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shri Jaya Deva Kaveri Ramudita Mutaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavajita Dasavira Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Oh Jaya Dasavatar Jaya Dasavatar Dasavatar Jaya Dasavatar Jaya Varaha Deva Varaha Deva Varaha Deva Jaya Varaha Deva Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Gora Haribo Varaha Deva Ki Jai. You want to read the English? We should move Varaha to an easel.
In the waters of universal disillusion, you carried the Vedas just like a boat without any effort. O Keshav, who assumed the form of a fish, Matsya, all glories to you. O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
The earth rests on your expansive back, hardened by the numerous callous formations resulting from that burden. O Keshav, who assumed the form of a tortoise, Kurma, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
Upon the beautiful lotuses of your hands, your nails with their amazing tips have torn asunder the wasp-like body of Hiranyakashipu. O Keshav, who assumed the form of a man lion, Nrsimha, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
You deceived Bali while taking immense strides. O wonderful dwarf, you purify people by the Ganga water that emanates from your toenails. O Keshava, who assumed the form of a dwarf, Vamana, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
You liberate all the creatures of the world from sin by letting them bathe in the waters of the sacred land of Kir, etc., which is infused with the blood of unrighteous rulers. O Keshava, who assumed the form of Lord Bringas, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
Sacrificial offering to the presiding demigods of the 10 directions, O Keshava, who assumed the form of Lord Ram. All glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari.
On your brilliant white form, you wear garments, the dark blue color of a rain cloud that resembles the hue of the Yamuna River, who came in your presence, apprehensive of the striking of your plow, O Keshava, who assumed the form of the wielder of the plow, Balarama. All glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari. You decree the prescriptions of the Shrutis that pertain to sacrifice, your heart brimming with compassion when you witness animal slaughter. O Keshav, who assumed the form of Lord Buddha, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari. Maybe I'll just read the rest for the sake of time. At the hour of death for the numerous barbarous hosts, you wield a sword that is as terrifying as a foreboding comet. O Keshav, who assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari. Please hear this sincere prayer uttered by the poet Sri Dayadev. It awards happiness and auspiciousness and describes the essence of your incarnations. O Keshav, who assumed 10 forms, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari. Unto the deliverer of the Vedas, Matsya, the upholder of the worlds, Kurma, the savior of Mother Earth, Varaha, the slayer of Hiranyakashipu and other demons, Nrsimha, the deceiver of Bali, Vamana, the destroyer of Kshatriyas, Parasumna, the conqueror of Ravan, Ram, the wielder of the plow, Balaram, the advocate of compassion, Buddha, and the vanquisher of the barbarians, Kalki. O you who assume these 10 forms, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances.
You think so? Yeah, why not? Okay. I don't know the nice sweet one though.
Me neither.
I did that one yesterday. You know how to do it in the B?
I only know how to do it as like the Gurudev Kripa Bindu.
Oh yeah, I don't know that one. Can I play?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Oh, sure. Thanks.
Page 114. Haridas's request. Let's see. Maharaj is here. Ekite dekite bolivo vakabe nijastula parichaya. Dekite bolivo vakabe nijastula parichaya. Dekite bolivo vakabe nijastula parichaya. Nijastula parichaya. Nayana heribo Braja Parasobha Nayana Prapora Nayane Heribo Braja Parasobha Chiranandamo Nitya Chiranandamo Nayane Herivo Braja Parasobha Nitya Chiranandamoya Nitya Chiranandamoya Prishabhanupare Janamaloivo Jabata Vihave Prishabhanupare Janamaloivo Jabata Vihave Braja Gopiba Hoiva Swabha Eva Swabha Anubhavaranahive Anubhavanarahive Eva Swabha Anubhavanarahive Anubhavanarahive Dekite bolivo vakabe nijastula parichaya. Dekite bolivo vakabe nijastula parichaya. Nija siddha deha, nija siddha nam, nija rupa swavasana. Nija siddha deha, nija siddha nam. Radha kripa bale, labibo vakave. Radha kripa bale labibo vakabe Krishna prema prakarana Krishna prema prakarana Krishna premera kakana Nija rupa swavasana Jamuna salilo aharane giya Bujibo jugalarasa Prema mukta hoye pagalina pray Gaye
pagaline praya Gaye Radha Rajasa Gaye Radha Rajasa Preme Mukhaye Pagalina Gaye Radha Oh, dekite, bolibo vakabe, nijastula parichaya. Stula parikaya. Oh, dekite, bolibo vakabe, nijastula parichaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bolo Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Krishna. Nitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Gauda Haribo, Haribo. Oh, Nitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Nitai Gauda Haribo, Nitai Gauda Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. When, before my very sight, will my bodily self-conception disappear? Then with my own eyes I shall behold the exquisite beauty of Braj, full of eternal spiritual cognizance and bliss. At that time, I shall take birth in the village of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and my marriage will occur in Yavat. My sole disposition and character will be that of a Brajagopi. Any other mood will not remain. When shall I obtain, by the power of Radha's mercy, my perfected spiritual body, my perfected spiritual name, and my own form and dress? True initiation into the realm of Krishna Prema. When I go to draw water from the Yamuna, I shall understand the confidential mellows of the divine couple's loving affairs. Being overwhelmed with prem, I shall sing Sri Radha's glories just like a madwoman. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I offer my unlimited humble obeisances into the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Paramaradhita, Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Same unlimited obeisances into Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and entire Guru Varga. And unto Srimati Shamrani Didi, who's guiding us here at the Sacred Vedic Arts. And to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Ki Jai. Please accept my pranams. And to the brahmacharis headed here today. Today is the divine appearance day of Lord Varaha Deva. Ta-da! Lord Boar. Lord Pig. Wait, I don't need to. I don't. You have to go that way? You put it here? Yeah. Yeah. Phew. We have like 5 chapters to get through. So I can either narrate it to the best of my abilities and selectively read some things, or we could just read the battle. We can do everything. Let's just go through everything, guys, because it is a glorious thing. Let's do it all. Shamarindi would not like any stone unturned. Does anyone here not know who Lord Varaha Deva is? Anybody? Okay. Lord Varaha Deva is the incarnation of Krishna in the form of a boar with tusks, snout, long, strong hair. And he appears regularly throughout the creation of the universe. In our particular day of Brahma, he appeared twice. First time the Lord appears is in the beginning of Brahma's day. Maybe I'll just backtrack to who is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the architect lord of the universe. He's in charge of creating all the different planetary systems. And he creates all the planetary systems. Everything goes on for his duration of the day. And then in his evening time, then it all gets wrapped up in a sense. Water rises from the Garbhodak Ocean and destroys most of the planetary systems except for the higher ones. The residents of the higher planetary systems move up to the highest ones, and it's all finished. And then the next morning of Brahma's morning, not Earth's morning, but next morning of Brahma, he then creates it all again. And he does this day after day. Some days he doesn't create, some days he does create. And the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, it'll describe it different ways. But ultimately, the Lord Brahma has been doing this for over 50 years. This is his 51st year of Brahma. And this is the first day of the first month of the first year of his 51st year. Just so you know where we are in the timeline. And so Lord Brahma, when he was looking at his creation, and he was thinking, okay, now is my duty to once again spring up the 14 planetary systems. But he didn't know where the Earth planet was. And he saw that the Earth planet was sunken all the way down in the Garbhodak Ocean, which is the ocean that fills half the universe. And so he saw, oh, the Earth planet is way down there. How should I pull it out of the Garbhodak Ocean? Which for Lord Brahma is also a bewildering ocean because he himself tried to trace his source through the lotus. So he was thinking like this, and as he thought, from his nostril came a little pig, just boop, plopped right out, and it began flying in the sky, and immediately it grew to the size of an elephant. And he was thinking, what is this? This just came from me. And as it flew through the sky, the boar's tail was up, and it was shaking, and it was moving his hoofs, and it was scattering all the clouds in Brahmalok. And Lord Brahma was thinking, what a magical, beautiful being, and his face was glowing like the sun and the moon. And it began to grow more in size. And then all the rishis, all the sages, Lord Brahma has some sons that he had created. They were all thinking, what is this? Is it Vishnu? No. Is it demigod? No. What is this? What is this creature? And just then, Lord I'll say Lord Varaha, he dove down into the Garbhodak Ocean, and with his mighty hooves, he split the ocean in two. And the ocean waves sprung up as if to say, oh, please, Lord, don't kill us. Please, what have we done? Please don't destroy us and split us into nothing. And just then the Lord found the earth, as he was doing like a boar does. Now, the Bhagavatam describes this as, even though the boar is Vishnu, he's the supreme being, but he's in the form of a boar, and he wants to act like one. Even though he's in the form of a boar, he could any minute stop and just be Vishnu again. But it is his pleasure to act like a boar. And so he's acting like a boar when he's taking his nose and he's taking it through the ocean and he's looking for the earth until he finds the earth. And then he picks up the earth on one of his beautiful tusks that are coming out and he brings it to the surface. Now in this chapter, the appearance of Lord Varaha, there's 2 stories of Varaha that get merged into one. So I'll just say it as it says in Bhagavatam. After picking the earth up out of the water and setting it down, a demon named Hiranyaksha came, and they fought, and Lord Varaha killed Hiranyaksha, just like an elephant digs through the sand and it becomes all like reddish with the reddish trunk and ears. Same way Lord Varaha killed Hiranyakashipu and also appeared very reddish from all the blood. And thus ends the pastimes. We can go home. No, it's Hiranyaksha. But actually, at the end of that pastime, Vidura, who's hearing this from Maitreya, there's a lot of stories within stories and within stories in Bhagavatam. But ultimately, Vidura is hearing this from Maitreya, and he says, "Oh, Maitreya Rishi, I'm not satisfied with just this narration. Please tell me more. Please break it down more." And so then Maitreya Rishi says, "Okay, I'll tell you how I heard this story from the great rishis long ago." And so he then says that there was two Varaha avatars. The one that picked up the earth from the bottom of the ocean had a white color. It was known as Sweta Avatar, or Sweta Varaha Avatar. And in what we call our day of Brahma, we can call it Brahma Kalpa, but we also call it the Sweta Avatar Kalpa, because in this particular day of Brahma, the Lord came in this white boar form. But then, 6 Manus later, that's what Manus are. When Brahma creates, first he makes these mental sons. Well, first he makes the 4 Kumaras. Those are his first sons created from his mind. And he tells these 4 sons, they're like little boys, he says, I want that you grow and create progeny through the universe, like populate the universe. And the 4 Kumaras said, no, father, we're not going to do this. Because we were born with Brahmagyan and Brahman realization. We have no interest in doing anything that will entangle us with the material world. We won't even grow up, actually. We'll always stay like Keshav's age, just a little boy's age. And so they, even though they're the oldest beings in the universe, they live for the whole duration of Lord Brahma. They always stay as young boys, but they're filled with transcendental knowledge. So they said, no, father, we're not doing it. Just like these brahmacharis are making the same decision. They're like, we don't want to get involved in material energy. We want to just stay pure. And so that angered Lord Brahma. He became angry. And from his anger, different times it's described differently, but Lord Shiva came from his anger, from the third eye, as Rudra, and began destroying things. He said, oh, calm down, my son, calm down. You can have your destruction at the end of creation. Just be peaceful now. Then he began to create the great sages from the different limbs of his body, like Marichi, Ruchi, Kuti, then Narada Muni. And so he creates all these sages and tells them, I want you to create progeny. And they begin to populate the upper planetary systems. Then he takes his body and divides it into 2, one male, one female. This becomes Swayambhuva Manu and his wife, Prasuti, I think. So his body becomes 2, which become husband and wife. And now Madhu's standing there in front of Lord Brahma and says, oh, Father, thank you for creating me and my lovely wife. What service can I do for you? And Brahma's like, what a good son. He's ready to serve. He wants to do what the father asks. This is the best quality of a child. Just willingness to serve the parents. This is Vedic culture. And he's like, very good. He's like, I want you to go, take the earth, and create and populate the earth planet. And that's when Swayambhuva Manu says, yes, father, but I'm looking upon the 14 planetary systems, and I don't see the earth planet. And that's when Lord Brahma was thinking, oh yeah, where is the earth planet? And that's when Lord Varaha comes, picks up the earth planet, makes it situated, and then Manu is finally able to populate the earth. Manu will rule for a period of time, 71 yuga cycles of Kali, of Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. Those cycles will go 71 times, and then Manu will retire from his position, and the next Manu will come and then run the universe for 71 yuga cycles. They'll retire. So Swayambhuva Manu, he had 2 sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrat, and he then gave the universal affair to them and to them. So now we're at the 6th Manu, the 6th time. So now it's been 71 yuga cycles, 6 times. And during this time, the Manu, his name is Chakshusha Manu, and he's ruling the world. And at that time, Kasyapa Muni has now been born. Kasyapa Muni is the son of Marichi, one of the first sons of Brahma. I know this is all like backstory, and it's all like, who are these people and what are they talking about? But these are like the original beings of our universe, and they still exist today in the higher dimensions. They're the great sages. They're giving us all these transcendental knowledge. And so Kasyapa is doing his meditation, and he's on the bank of the river, and it's about sunset time. Well, actually, should I jump to that chapter? Yeah, that's the next chapter. We're going in order. So turns it off. So Kasyapa is sitting on the bank of the whichever river, I don't know, and he's meditating on the Lord. He just finished doing his like Varayagya puja things that he does as a celestial rishi, as a Prajapati. And he's sitting there, and he's approached by his wife. His wife's name is Diti. He has many wives. The Prajapati Daksha had many daughters, and he gave 13 of those daughters to Kasyapa as his wives. And he gave one of them, Sati, to Lord Shiva, as his wife. So Diti and Sati are sisters, which makes Kasyapa and Lord Shiva brother-in-laws. Well, technically brother-in-laws. So anyways, so then Kasyapa's meditating, and Diti comes and approaches him. It's just before sunset, and she's like, "Oh my Prabhu, please, I'm burning with lust inside. It's overtaking me. It is like a fire, like an arrow piercing my heart. Please, as my protector, as my Prabhu, please extinguish this fire of lust and give me what I desire." And he's like, "What do you desire?" And then she says, "I wish to have a child. All my sisters have children, and I do not. So I also want to have a glorious child." Now her sister's children, like Aditi is one of her sisters, Aditi's children will become the next and are the demigods in our Manvantar. We're in the 7th Manvantar. This is happening in the 6th Manvantar. So this is happening over 71 yuga cycles ago. Anyway, so Aditi's children are now our demigods. So anyway, so she's like, "Oh my God, all my sisters have beautiful, wonderful celestial children, and I have none. Please give me a child." And so Kasyapa says, "Oh my wife," actually, I think the women here will love this. So I'll read these verses. He says, "Oh afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you, for who else but you is the source of the 3 perfections? As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife." During brahmacharis, I got your side too. "O respectful one, a wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body, because of her sharing in all auspicious activities. A man can move without anxiety, entrusting all responsibility to his wife. As a fort commander very easily conquers invading plunderers, by taking shelter of a wife, one can conquer the senses, which are unconquerable in other social orders." Now, for the brahmacharis, what Kashyapa is saying is that if you have a wife, then she can take care of somehow. Now, this is Kali Yuga, so don't think it's like these are because things are different now. But in the ideal situation, because you can do vice versa. If you have if the wife is the qualified Vaishnavi and has a husband who's not so into it, then he can be the provider, so that she can do devotional service. But in this chapter, is describing more of the archetype, which is that the wife is doing household duties so that the husband, a Brahmin husband, can have time to just do yajna, puja, study, recitation of the Vedas, and purify himself, and automatically she gets 50% of that. Just by serving him, she's getting the benefit. So it's a glorious position to be in. And also, when lust does come in the man, he can then, with religious sanctions, enjoy with his wife, and is safe from having to exploit other women and become sinful. And for a woman, she's protected by her husband. So it's like a very nice relationship. But the thing for one in the household life is that they're safe from the fall down of sense enjoyment, and they're allowed to enjoy senses, but they do not develop detachment. So at the time of death, their process of death is going to be more difficult. That the brahmachari, however, has developed detachment. They'll easily be able to transfer their consciousness. They're not so hung up on things. But the danger of the brahmachari is when they're attacked by these snakes of lust and desire. If they fall down, it becomes degraded and sinful. So the grihastha is safe from these things, but has a hard time with detachment. The brahmacharis have detachment, but they're not safe from the attack of Maya like this. So both ashrams are okay to be in. So all the grihastas, be satisfied, and brahmacharis, be satisfied. Also, this next verse describes that Kasyapa is also speaking with a little bit of jokingness. Oh, no worries, no worries. Go for it. Hari Hari Bol. He says, "Oh, queen of the home, we're not able to act like you, nor could we repay your debt for what you have done." Sounds like Krishna when he's speaking to the gopis. "Even if we work for an entire life, or even after death, to repay you is not possible, even for those who are admirers of your personal qualities." Prabhupada makes a point here that this is spoken in jest. Anyway, so after he tells his wife all these sweet things, but really what Kasyapa is doing is he's trying to delay her, to pacify her. He's pretty much saying, please be peaceful, my love. You're so amazing. And we can't do anything without you. You protect us. You take care of us. Please enjoy half of my credits. But really he's thinking, I want her to go back to the cottage or the Bajrang Kuti or whatever it is and wait for me, because right now the sun is setting and is entering into twilight, and this is the worst time to have these relationship. So he's thinking what? So he's trying to stall. But DT's like, okay, Prabhu, okay. But once again, the fire is coming, the lust is coming, the desire is coming. And so she grabs him. She, please, let's do it now, now. And he begins to say, do you not know what time it is? This is Lord Shiva's hour. He's flying in the sky right now with all of his ghosts and spirits. And they're looking everywhere and seeing who's doing sin, who's doing wrong. And he's cursing them and punishing them. This is not that. So then he tried to scare her. She's like, oh, but it is okay because Lord Shiva is my brother-in-law. So surely he'll be merciful to us. He's our brother. He'll just look the other way. And so now Kasyapa is thinking what to do. So let's see what he does. So then they describe Lord Shiva in a couple of verses, which are really nice verses about Lord Shiva. But still, Diti's like, no, I want this to happen. And so Kasyapa, knowing as a sage, he knows like, okay, this is the will of the Lord. He says, very well. And so they go to a secluded area, and Kasyapa then and her procreate. And at that time, when they finish, Kasyapa gets up, he goes bathes in the river again, he sits down, meditates on the Gayatri mantra, and there Diti first feels her remorse. She's like, oh man, what did I do? I was so consumed by lust, I lost my intelligence. And I forced, not forced, but I encouraged my husband to procreate with me. So then she's very sad. So she approaches Kasyapa and she's like, Prabhu, do you think Lord Shiva will ever forgive us? Like, because he's my brother-in-law, right? And he's like, you should not think just because he's your brother-in-law that he won't punish you. Because Lord Shiva doesn't see friend or foe. He's equal to all. So yeah, you're thinking he's my brother-in-law, but what is Lord Shiva thinking? She's just another soul in another body. Like he doesn't have the same relationship that you have. In fact, Lord Shiva is so great that we cannot understand him. Lord Shiva is greater than myself, even greater than Lord Brahma. We bow to his feet. And he's like, he might cover him, his body is effulgent, but he covers it with ashes. He is always thinking of Radha and Krishna's pastimes, but he's always associating it with ghosts and spirits. It's very hard to understand. How can such elevated Vaishnav appear to be doing things that seem to be of Tamagun? And he's like, so don't, just because she was your brother, don't count that he's not going to become angry. And so she's like, but please, my lord, there must be something we can do. Please, I just pray me this, or give me this, I pray this prayer, or bless me with this, or however you word it. Please, at least don't let him kill my children that you just given me. Don't let him kill them. And then Kasyapa says, or even, don't even let a Brahmin curse my children. Just let them be healthy. Just want to have my children. And Kasyapa says, oh, you foolish woman, you do not know what we have just done. Your children will grow. They will not be killed by Lord Shiva or by a Brahmin. In fact, they will grow to be terrible, terrible demons, twin demons. They'll be so devastating that the demigods will hate them and fear them. And they will ruin the universe. And they will kill Brahmins. They will kill Vaishnavas. They'll be monsters. Your children will be. And now Diti's horrified. She's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And she's praying and she's crying. And Kasyapa says, but my wife, do not worry. Even though your children will be demons, They will inspire the Lord to incarnate as an avatar, both of them. They'll each have an avatar come, and the avatar of Vishnu or Krishna will kill them. And by being killed by Vishnu, they will have even a greater birth in their next life. As we all know from Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they became Ravana and Kumbhakarna, which they enjoyed even greater material opulence than they did as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So anyways, he says, so they'll be killed by Vishnu. They'll be favored by Vishnu. And also, the grandson, the son of one of your sons, will become a great Paramahamsa Vaishnav. His name will be Prahlad, and he will liberate the entire dynasty from up and down, because Prahlad will also have a grandson named Bali, who will then cause another avatar to come, Srila Vamanadev. So you are actually blessed. Your sons will be demons, and they will be killed, and they will do a bunch of nonsense, but your grandson will be a pure Vaishnava, and your great-great-grandson. So then she became so happy. She was like, oh, Prabhu, I do not mind if my children are died by the hands of the Lord. That is the greatest gift, actually. Rather than die by a sage or by another demon or by a demigod or by old age, let them be killed by the Lord. And she became very happy. So in this way, she then became pregnant. But during the time of the pregnancy, even before they were born, the whole universe began to feel the effects. The whole universe began to darken. It was like every day was like an eclipse. It was hard to see night or day. All over the universe, too. The planets lost their shimmer. They became dull. And everyone was feared. All the demigods are thinking, what is happening? What is happening to the universe? Is there a devastation about to happen? Because actually in the sixth Manvantar, there was a unexpected devastation, which is why the earth once again sunk at this time. And so they're like, what is happening? What is happening? And so they went to Lord Brahma. And they said, oh, Brahma, something terrible is happening. The universe is unstable. There's earthquakes and hurricanes and meteors falling. And it's like, this is a terrible time. It sounds like the time of universal devastation. And Lord Brahma says, actually, something very special is happening. Aditi is bearing these two sons. But these sons are not ordinary sons. In fact, these sons are the devotees of the Lord. They are residents of Vaikuntha. And they were like, wait, well, if the residents of Vaikuntha are coming, why are they coming in the form of demons? Like, you would think that the residents of Vaikuntha are incarnating. It would be like clapping and dancing, the tambours and the drums, like we would be singing and dancing. He goes, oh, let me tell you the story. Here it is. Just kidding. It's Gary Dari Prabhu. I don't know if you're watching Gary Dari. I'm giving class right now. So then they're thinking, why are they demons? So then he begins to relate the story of Jai and Vijay. You guys know the story? Okay, let's jump to the next chapter. We can hear a little bit of the kingdom of God too, if you guys want to, just a couple of verses. So anyways, Jai and Vijay are the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha. And Lord Brahma then begins to tell the demigods this story. He says, you see my children, all devatas? Because everyone's a child of Brahma. He's called the Prajapati. He's the one that gives everyone life. So he's like, oh, my children, just listen. You see, one time my 4 sons, the Kumaras, those little boys that never age, little Keshava there, they can travel anywhere they want, freely. They can travel all through the material world, and they also can enter into the Vaikunthas if they so choose. So one day they went into the Vaikunthas, and they went through the first gate, the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth gate. But when they got to the second gate, they began to open this beautiful golden door with all jewels and emeralds and things. Opened the gate, and immediately, vroom, 2 spears came down, and they were stopped. They were like, what is this? Who would stop us? We are just simple Brahmins. We're pure of heart. We're entering into the Vaikunthas. Someone's persistent. So then he's like, we're entering into the Vaikunthas. Who would ever stop us? And then they see these 2 effulgent beings that look just like the Lord. They have 4 arms. They have the dark color. They're wearing helmets and cloth and jewels everywhere. And they're thinking, who are you? Who are you to stop us from entering into Vaikuntha? You must have the fault. There must be something wrong with you because you're acting antagonistically towards Brahmins. You have no qualification to stay in Vaikuntha. And so the 4 Kumars became angry and cursed Jai and Vijay. And Jai and Vijay immediately were like, oh, I'm sorry, but, we're doing our duty. You are not qualified to come in. You don't even have clothes on. You're coming into Vaikuntha or to the palace of the Lord. And immediately, as the Kumaras curse, and Jaya Vijay are folding their palms, immediately Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan comes riding on Garuda, and he sets down. There's even a picture of this, wherever. I think Didi drew one, painted one. So then he comes off Garuda. He's holding Garuda by the shoulder. You can see the Lord has beautiful curly hair. His eyes are like lotuses. He has a beautiful crown. His skin is very dark and beautiful complexion, like sham color. He has jewels all over his body, but his body itself is beautifying the jewels. He's wearing beautiful cloth. He has a waist belt full of jewels, beautiful golden dhoti, and at his feet is filled with little bunches of tulsi leaves. And the four Kumaras now, they have been seeing the Lord in their heart through their meditation, but now they're seeing the Lord actually with their eyes. And then that verse, I'm not reading it right now, but it shows that just when the Kumaras are now the superiority of actually having darshan of the Lord, not just within the heart, but outside. And so the Kumaras are thinking, wow, so beautiful. And then the smell coming from the tulsi leaves enter their nostrils, and they become intoxicated with the smell of the Lord, and all impurities are gone. And they fall to the Lord, and they're like, oh, Prabhu, and they offer a nice string of prayers. But I'm not going to say all those prayers, because I don't remember them all. But I'll read one or two verses of just Vaikuntha so we can get a real image of Vaikuntha. A real good description is in the Brihad Bhavatamrita. But here, I'll just read a couple of verses because Didi likes to quote this one with lapis lazulis. In the Vaikuntha planets, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's the original person, who could understand through the Vedic literature, he's full of uncontaminated goodness, with no place for passion or ignorance. Okay, that's about that. In the Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests which are very auspicious. In those forests, the trees are desire trees, and in all seasons they are filled with flowers and fruits, because everything in the Vaikuntha planets is spiritual and personal. That means all the trees are actual conscious beings that you can talk to and associate with. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhavi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. So we have the demigods flying around with their consorts. They're married. And the Brihad Bhavatamrita describes sometimes they go for darshan of the Lord Narayan, and like the husband will they'll like land the whole family, and then the whole family will then merge into the husband, and he'll go for darshan. It's like, what's going on? Like, how does this work? And so, and then they can even change forms if they will. Like if the Lord wants to go for a walk in the park, the Vaikuntha Basis can take the form of birds and then sing, and others will take the form of trees, like all to assist the Lord to have a beautiful walk. They don't always have to be in their four-arm form. They can do whatever they want. Also, each resident of Vaikuntha is having darshan of the Lord of their particular desire. So simultaneously, like I'm sitting here, you're all seeing the same body, but for the Lord, all the different devotees will see the Lord according to their desire. And this is all in the Brihad Bhavatamrita. But as we're here, when the king of bees hums in high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord, there's a temporary lull in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chakravak, the swan, the parrot, the partridge, the peacock. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. That's when the bees are following the Lord because he has these beautiful garlands. He's walking through the forest, and on his garlands he has beautiful tulsi leaves. And all the trees, instead of becoming envious of Tulsi's position, because all the trees are thinking, why does the Lord have Tulsi on him? They actually glorify Tulsi Devi. And they even say, I wish we could come to the material world because Tulsi gets to go there and render service in the material world as well. So they glorify Tulsi Devi that the Lord is wearing. Anyways, that's the next verse. Although flowering plants like the Mandara, Kunda, Kurapaka, Upala, Champak, Arna, Punaga, Nagachara, Bakula, Lila, Parijat. All these names, I wish I knew what they look like. There is one lady, her name is Madhavi. She lives in Australia now. I was having a talk with her last Gurpurnim, and I was like, I wish I knew what all the flowers were. And she goes, she took the time to figure out which the Sanskrit names are for which flowers are. And I was like, oh, wow, because I wanted to grow them, and I could have like a garden that resembles the Lord because I'm an attached householder. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be nice. Anyways, they're all still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi, for Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. The inhabitants, oh, this is the one that Didi likes too. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold, although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. So even though the ladies of Vaikuntha are extraordinarily beautiful, it doesn't agitate with the mode of passion, so lust doesn't develop like that. And everything is based on love towards the Lord. Like, let us sing together, let us chant together, let's glorify the Lord, let's go on walks together and talk about the Lord Narayan's pastimes and all his universes, everything. So anyway, these are some of the glories of Vaikuntha. Now going back to the story of the Kumaras. So now we know where we are. Now we're in Vaikuntha. We're past the seventh gate. We're seeing the airplanes. We're seeing the demigoddesses. We're seeing it all. We're seeing the forest. We're seeing the flowers, the trees, the bees, the birds. Everything's going on. But meanwhile, there's a situation going on at the gate. And so Lord Narayana shows up. And he immediately is like, oh, all four Kumaras, oh, my lovely boys, oh, high-class Brahmins, please, whatever my servants have done, surely your curse is appropriate, because you're a Brahmin. You are the highest thing. In fact, whatever the great sages offer me in the yagyas with ghee into the fire, I'm not satisfied. I am more satisfied when the Brahmins take food soaked in ghee and they enjoy it nicely. That makes my heart even happier than just these Vedic yagyas. So Brahmins are the highest, most dearest thing to me. Please, whatever my servants have done, you should see that it is my fault, because the servant and the master are non-different in this relationship. So really, if you want to punish them, please punish me. In fact, if you find some fault with my servants, it's like a person who has one spot of leprosy. Everyone goes, oh, they're a leper. So see me that way too. If you find fault with them, also find fault with me. In fact, which arm should I chop off just to remedy the situation? And meanwhile, the four Kumaras' minds are still being blown just by the smell of the Tulsi, and now they're getting these sweet words. And the four Kumaras are like, no, there was no offense. Well, I don't know what we were thinking. For a moment we had temporary insanity, which we can't even describe why, because there is no anger in Vaikuntha. So why did the gatekeeper stop us, and why did we become angry? And then the Lord then says, actually, this was all my pastime. I already knew you were coming, and I wanted my gatekeepers to stop you so that you would become angry, because I have a desire. My desire, which I had expressed some time ago to Jai and Vijay, understood, I wanted to fight. But there's no fighting in Vaikuntha. And if there is, it's done with love. And I wanted to fight for real. And so Jai and Vijay made a prayer within themselves that, oh my Lord, if you cannot find someone to fight with, we will fight with you. And so I am now fulfilling their desire. Also, my consort Lakshmi was also a bit offended by them accidentally, because I was taking rest and they stopped her from coming in. And so she also thought, like, these two should be punished somehow. So I am now with Krishna, what he does many things with one go. So he's like, so I am arranging this entire pastime. And so I inspired you to become angry and to say this curse. And now Jai and Vijay are like, oh my Lord, we will do whatever you say. Just please, we'll take any form, we'll go to any universe, but just do not let us forget you. We'll do anything. We'll be any animal life, we'll be any demon life. Just never let us forget you and your beautiful form and qualities. The Lord said, don't worry, you always will be united with me in the mind, but through anger. Now there's a verse, I can't remember it now, but there's different ways of being connected to the Lord. And one of them is through anger. And you'll see it in some of the demons. They become liberated because they were always thinking about Krishna. Oh, that Krishna, oh, that Krishna, oh, that Vasudeva, oh, that Narayan, oh, with those lotus eyes, oh, with that long hair. Oh, he's always wearing that yellow dhoti. Oh, he's always destroying the demons. Oh, he took out a whole army. Oh, I hate that guy. But all they're doing is chanting his name and glorifying his pastimes, and they're actually becoming purified. Even Kamsa, he did it through fear. He was always thinking like, oh, is this my death coming? Is that boy Krishna? And through fear, he became purified. But this is not recommended for us sadhakas. It's not recommended that we just be mad at the Lord all day long. But the more important thing is we think about the Lord all day long. So anyways, so the Lord arranged this, and then Jai and Vijay accepted their curse and entered into the material world as the sons of Diti, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Now, I just showed Diti this the other day. It's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada wrote it, but also I see that he took it from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's Anubhasya. But pretty much, if you think, if Lord Nrsimhadev and Lord Varaha come every kalpa because they're a regular incarnation, does that mean Jai and Vijay have to come through all the kalpas and through all the universes, constantly rotating? That means they'll never escape. So how is it that only 3 births they had to take? And so in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which is quoted by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and by Srila Prabhupada, it says that Jai and Vijay only took 3 births. Boom, boom, boom. Well, technically 4th as Mahaprabhu in his Leela. But technically, they only had to do it 3 times. In the other kalpas, there is the actual like jiva soul that occupies the position of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, so that the pastime can keep happening. But it's not always Jai and Vijay. But in this particular kalpa, the one we're in, it was Jai and Vijay. So it was a mighty, mighty battle. And so at that point, Diti had her 2 sons, and she gave birth. The first one that came out was Hiranyaksha. Good job. But how come Hiranyakashipu is considered the oldest? Because when Kasyapa deposited 2 semens, the first one that latches in and, comes, there's some biology here. The first one that comes to an egg sits higher than the other one. So there's 2 twins, right? So this is actually the first conceived twin, and this is the second conceived twin. But this one exits first, and then this one. So technically, Hiranyakashipu was born second, but in the eyes of Kasyapa, he was conceived first. So he was given the honor of being the elder brother. But in Diti's mood, Hiranyaksha came out first, so she was thinking of him as the elder. But technically, Hiranyakashipu is the elder by these rules of birth. It's called Pinda Shastra or something. So anyways, they were then born, and at the time of their birth, the whole universe just went crazy, and it was just trembling, and the jackals were vomiting fire, and the mountains were shaking with things, and lightning bolts were falling, the oceans were going crazy. Just everyone knew this is going to be a bad time. And so the boys grew up, and they began terrorizing the universe, which is what they like to do. And they would go to all the demigods, which were like their cousins, technically, because Diti's and Aditi, all the other wives of Kasyapa, they're all celestial beings. Some are devatas, some are asuras. So anyway, they're just going around, they're beating up all their cousins and all their extended family members. And they're just thinking, like, who can fight me? And Hiranyaksha was just so much desiring to fight. He would even go to the bank of mighty oceans, and the big waves would come. You ever seen those surfers that ride like the biggest waves in the world? And you think, like, that is insane. Like, that wave could just destroy you. So Hiranyaksha goes to the biggest waves with his club, and he's like, pow, pow, just smashing them down. He's smashing mountains. He's like, who can fight me? And all the devatas are like, not me. And then he's like, oh, they're so powerful. He had no one to fight, and he traveled everywhere. So he went all the way through Swarga, and then he went all the way down through the Talas, all the way to Pataloka, where Lord Varunadev is staying. Because it said in the Bhagavatam that Lord Varunadev is like the ruler of Patala. He's also Lord of the oceans. And so he went down there, and he's like, oh, Varuna, you fight me. And Varuna's like, no, I don't want to fight you. He's like, are you afraid? He's like, no, I'm not, but I just think that there is someone qualified to fight you. He's like, who's qualified? He's like, you should find Vishnu. Vishnu is qualified. He will fight you, and he will defeat you. And Hiranyaksha's like, fat chance. I've defeated every Devata. I'll defeat this Vishnu as well. Where can I find this Vishnu? He said, well, currently he's down in the Garbhodak Ocean looking for the Earth planet, because this is the second devastation. And so he's like, I'm going. So he left Patala, because Patala's at the bottom, just above the Garbhodak Ocean. So he goes down into the waters of the Garbhodak Ocean. And he's like, Vishnu, where are you? And then he sees that once again, Lord Varaha Deva in the Garbhodak Ocean, just looking like a if you ever watch a pig underwater, just doing his thing. And he grabs the earth, and as he's coming up with the earth, Hiranyaksha is like, oh, you amphibious creature, like you half terrestrial, half water animal. Like, what are you doing with this? Don't you know this is my planet? This is my ocean? This is my universe? And you've come here without my permission? And you're touching my things? Oh, no. You must pay the price. You must fight me in combat. And meanwhile, okay, now we're going to get into the battle. Let's get into the battle, because we're almost out of time here. I already covered all this. Oh, that's the next book. Because I'll read some of the battle because it's nice dialogue. Because we all love action movies. So what's a better one than fighting? The demon addressed the Lord. "O best of the demigods, dressed in the form of a boar, just hear me. This earth is entrusted to me, the inhabitants of the lower regions. You cannot take it from my presence, and you cannot hurt me. You rascal, you've been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you've killed some demons, but your power is only mystic. Today, I will kill you by myself." The demon continued, "When you fall dead with your skull smashed by my mace, hurled by my arms, the demigods and sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice in the fire will also automatically cease to exist." Puny Vishnu. Although the Lord was pained by this shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing the earth on the end of his tusk was frightened, he rose out of the water just as the elephant emerges with the female companion when chased by an alligator. So now Varaha's like, "All right, buddy, let me just get out of the water for a second. Take care of Bhumi Devi." The demon who had a golden hair, and he also had fearful tusks because he was like a demon looking. He gave chase to the Lord who was coming out of the water, just as the alligator will chase after an elephant. Roaring like thunder, he said, "Are you not ashamed to be running away before a challenging adversary? There is nothing reproachable about you, you shameless creature." And the demon who had a wealth of ornaments and bangles and beauty and gold, he was also glistening. He was looking good. He's also one of the Lord's associates. And then the Lord said, yes, we are creatures of the jungle, and we're searching after hunting dogs like you. Because as you know, as Pooja knows now, the wild boar is a ferocious fighter. Like if you're ever out in Florida and a boar comes at you, there's not much you can do besides climb a tree. It will not cease and desist if it's hungry. It will mow you down and rip you up. So anyways, now the Lord's like, haha, we are creatures of the jungle, and we are searching for hunting dogs like you. Because when a hunter goes out, their dogs come out, and then when the boar turns on the dog, that dog's like, dead. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting out of here. One who is freed from entanglement of death, he has no fear from the loose talk in which you are indulging. This is now Vishnu talking to, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be like, I gotta switch characters. What does the Lord sound like when he's like chivalrous? He's like, no one has fear from the loose talk in which you're indulging, for you are bound by the laws of death. Certainly we've stolen this beautiful planet, and have lost all shame. Although bitten by your powerful mace, I shall just stay here in the water for some time, because having created a powerful enemy like you, I have nowhere to go. In other words, he's joking with him now. He's like, but you're right, I'll just stay in the water now because you own everything, and there's nowhere for me to go, and now you're my enemy, so I'll just stay here. And it says, you're supposed to be the commander of many soldiers, and now you may take action to overcome me. In other words, like, you're a great general. Why don't you get your army and bring them over to me? Give up all your talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud that he does not deserve a seat in the assembly if he fails to do what he promised. So now he's saying, I'm going to stay here. You go get your army, and you come bring them here and do what you say you're going to do, because right now, talk is cheap. And if you want to sit in the assembly of the great fighters, you better prove yourself. So bring it. And so now the demon's like, Hiranyaksha's like, no, this Vishnu is mocking me in the form of a pig. No, I will not take this. The demon, being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead, became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. He was, you poke a snake, it's like, so he's mad now. He's mad. He's hissing indignantly, all of his senses shaken by wrath. The demon quickly sprang upon the Lord and dealt him a blow with his powerful mace. Over there we go. He's attacking. The Lord, however, he moved slightly aside, just like this, like a matrix, and dodged a violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. See, just like the matrix. The personality of God had now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon, who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. So now he comes at him. The Lord dodges, like, whoa, yeah, you want some? Cha, cha. Now they're just like, and their lips are all I mean, I wouldn't bite my lip when I'm fighting. Maybe I would. I don't know. Then with his mace, the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, he protected himself with a maneuver of his own mace. So now the Lord's coming down on the head, and he's like blocking it, and they're going at it. In this way, the demon Hiranyaksha and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. There was keen rivalry between the two combatants. Both had sustained injuries on their bodies from the blows of each other's pointed maces, and each grew more and more enraged at the smell of blood on his person. So that means both were bleeding. Even the Lord was exhibiting some blood. In their eagerness to win, they performed maneuvers of various kinds, and their contest looked like an encounter between two forceful bulls for the sake of a cow. You ever gone to India and seen bulls like blockheads? Do not want to be there. Now, in the Sarda Darshani, Srila Vishnu Thakur, he describes that this battle, it wasn't the Lord just playing around. Because they were Jai and Vijay, they were equally powerful. So they were actually going at it full force. When he fights other demons, he kind of toys with them a little bit, but he can't ever be defeated. But in this battle, since it's his associate in the demon form, they're going at it for real because this is what the Lord wanted to experience. Like, I want to be hit. I want to go down. You know, it's a male thing. So then, O descendant of Kuru. Oh, we're going with this. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now Lord Brahma's coming, because now you're hearing this, the bottom of the universe, all the devatas and the demigods, they're all coming down. They're like, what's happening down there? So they all come down to check out this fight, and Lord Brahma's there. Lord Brahma said, "Oh, my lord, this demon's proved to be quite a pinprick to us demigods, and the Brahmins, the cows, the innocent persons, everyone. We don't even like this guy. So he's always trying to fight us. He's always trying to hurt us. My lord, there's no need to play with him. Just kill him already. Kill him before he can start doing anything more wicked. My lord, please kill this sinful demon before the demonic hour arrives and presents another formidable approach to be favorable to him." Pretty much he's like, kill him now before the universal hour. This isn't the earth hour. This is like the universe also has time divisions. So it's like before the midday of the universe where he will become more powerful. Actually, I think it's the midnight of the universe. No, it must be midday. The midday of the universe comes because then he'll become more powerful. So just kill him now, please. But the Lord's just playing around a little bit. Bhumi's floating on the ocean. Just boop, boop, boop. But it's still, the sun and other planets are still out. So anyways, yeah, the auspicious period known as Abhijit, which is most opportune for victory, commenced at midday and has all but passed. Therefore, in the interest of your friends, please dispose of this enemy. Okay, now the whole chapter of the fight, but I'll do it quickly because we are out of time. After hearing the words of Brahma, oh boy. Struck by the demon's mace, however, the Lord's mace slipped from his hand and fell into the water. So they're fighting, and then Hiranyaksha gets a good hit, and his mace falls. And now Hiranyaksha could just finish the Lord with one blow, but instead, Hiranyaksha stops. And he's like, I will not attack an opponent without a weapon. And then they'll anger the Lord even more, like, oh, you're showing me mercy? So the Lord then manifested his Sudarshan chakra, and he's like, I always have a weapon. Let's go. And then Hiranyaksha's like, oh, I'm going to go after you. And they fought more and more. And then also when the Lord's mace fell, all the demigods were like lost their mind, like, Vishnu's going to lose this battle. So the Lord's like pulling everyone, like the best movie ever. He's like, yeah, everyone's like, no, just kill him already. And he drops his mace. No, they got the Sudarshan chakra. Oh, yay. Oh, it's just ups and downs, lefts and rights going on in this battle. It's like a commentator right now. And then as the disc began to revolve in the Lord's hand, and the Lord contended at close quarters, so he's fighting with his disc. He's not throwing it at Hiranyaksha. He's just fighting with it as his weapon against the Hiranyaksha's mace. When the demon saw the person of Godhead who had eyes just like lotus petals, standing in position before him, armed with his chakra, his senses were overpowered by indignation. He began to hiss like a serpent and bit his lip with great resentment. The demon who had fearful tusks stared at the personality of Godhead as though to burn him. Springing into the air, he aimed his mace at the Lord, and he exclaimed, "You are slain!" But what happened? Obador, what happened? The Lord said, oh wait. While his enemy looked on, the Lord in his form as the boar playfully knocked down the mace with his left foot, even as it came upon him with the force of a tempest. So he threw this mace. You are slain. The Lord's like, "Pow, not even." And then he said, take up, the Lord said, now pick up your weapon, because now he doesn't have a weapon. He said, take up your weapon and try again, little boy. I didn't say that. He said, take up your weapon and try again, eager as you are to conquer me. Challenged in these words, the demon aimed his mace at the Lord and once more loudly roared. Roar! When the Lord saw the mace flying towards him, he stood firmly where he was, caught it with the same hand, the same way as Garuda could just snatch a serpent. When a serpent attacks Garuda, he's like, nah, ain't happening. You know? So the Lord just like, bam, caught it again. His valor frustrated, the great demon felt humiliated and was put out of countenance. He was reluctant to take back the mace for the second time. He was like, all right, fine. The mace isn't working. So now he took his trident, which was like full like flaming fire, and he hurled it at the Lord. But once again, the Lord defended himself. And he tore it to pieces with his chakra. This time he was like, cha-cha-cha-cha, and the big trident just fell to pieces on the ground. Hearing this, Keshava? So then I was like, oh no, he defeated my trident. Now what can I do? But don't worry, I have mystic's powers, and now I'm going to use mystic illusions to take out Lord Varaha Deva. So now he mysteriously went out of sight. Okay, let's see what he did. Now the demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks, many magic, against the personality of Godhead. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near, because now he's making this big illusion happen. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness with dust and hailstorms. Stones came in volleys from every corner, as if thrown by machine guns. Whoa, Prabhupada used machine guns here. Shaped Panay. Huh. So it's like, hail, big chunks of hail coming at the Lord. And everyone thought, this is it. The whole universe is collapsing upon itself. The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with massive clouds, which are accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, hair, blood, stool, urine, and bones. Yeah, Hiranyakashipu was throwing it all at him this time. He was just like, take this. Over Dora, the mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. So all the mountains, little personalities come crawling out. They're like, Rrr. So it's like the whole world is coming in on Varaha Deva. The sky's raining all these things, the hail's coming, the lightning's coming, the mountains are becoming demons. It's all coming to devour the Lord. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by the host of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas. I wonder what they said. You can imagine. Just use every word imaginable. Who all either marched on foot and rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of sacrifices, now discharged his Sudarshan chakra and was able to disperse the magical forces displayed by the demon. So as it's all closing in, the Lord's like, not happening. Took out his chakra, and all this illusion just dispersed. And once again, the universe was as it was, because it was all just a giant illusion. At that very moment, a shudder ran through the heart of Diti, the mother of Hiranyaksha, because now she knows it's happening. She has that motherly sense to know, my son's about to die. She recalled the words of her husband, and blood flowed from her breast. She knew that the moment of her son's death was coming. When the demon saw his magic forces dispelled, he once again came into the presence of the personality of Godhead, Keshava. It says Keshava. And in full of rage, tried to embrace him with his arms to crush him. But to his great amazement, he found the Lord standing outside his arms. So he came in for the bear hug. He was like, ah! But there was no one there. The Lord was outside. He couldn't grab the Lord. He kept disappearing. Man, Keisha was into this story. The demon now began to strike the Lord with his fist. He's like, no! He's just hitting the Lord. But the Lord just slapped him right here. And he slapped him so hard that this demon, his eyes began to pop out. Let's see. The Lord struck him so hard that the conqueror of all, the demon's body began to wheel around. His eyeballs bulged out of their sockets. His arm and legs became broken. The hair in his head scattered, and he fell down dead, like a giant tree uprooted by the wind. He was like, no! And that was the end of the Hiranyaksha. Brahma and the others arrived on the spot, and they looked at the fearful demon laying on the ground, just still biting his lip, because he's a warrior. The glow of his face was yet unfaded, and Brahma admiringly said, "Oh, who can meet such a blessed death?" Because now he's dead, but he's still glowing a little bit. He was struck by a 4-foot, oh, 4-foot, 4-foot, 4-foot of the Lord, from whom yogis seek the freedom of meditate. Blah, 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 da, da, da. These two personal assistants of the Supreme Lord, having been cursed, have been destined to take birth in demonic families. After a few such births, they will return to their own positions. Anyway, the demigods all address the Lord. Jai Shri Varaha Deva Ki Jai. We all were so happy that you saved us. You're the greatest being in the universe. We fall at your feet. We'll do anything you want. We love you, Lord. Jai Ho, Jai Ho. Lord Varaha Ki Jai. Lord Varaha Ki Jai. Lord Varaha Ki Jai. Now, the Phala Shruti. The Phala Shruti means the fruit for hearing this. What we gain. My dear Vidura, I've explained to you the personality of Godhead's coming down as the boar incarnation and fighting the great demon with unprecedented powers, and if he were just a plaything. This has been narrated by me as I heard it from my predecessor spiritual masters. My dear Brahmin, now Sutta Goswami is now telling the sages of Naisharanya. What's he saying? The Lord achieved transcendental bliss. The great devotee of the Lord achieved transcendental bliss by hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the authoritative source of the sage Maitreya, and he was very pleased. What to speak of hearing the pastime of the Lord, whose chest is marked with the Shrivats? People may take transcendental pleasure in even hearing of the works and deeds of the devotees, whose fame is immortal. So hearing Krishna's pastimes is amazing, but also hearing the pastimes of the Vaishnavas is also extremely amazing. The personality of Godhead delivered the king of the elephants who was attacked by an alligator. That's the Gajendra story from impending danger. Okay, here we go. O Brahmins, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of Hiranyaksha, the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the boar incarnation to deliver the worlds, is at once relieved from... Okay, guys, this is what's going to happen to us right here, right now. We all just heard the narration of Lord Varaha Deva. You will be relieved of your sinful activities. Yay! You will also you will earn extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and the objects of one's desires. Be careful, brahmacharis. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to this at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord. Jai Shri Lord Varaha Deva Ki Jai, Varaha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Even Hiranyaksha Ki Jai, because he was actually the Lord's servant and did a great service to the Lord by bringing him much pleasure. Thus ends the narration of Lord Varaha Deva, and let's think of a prayer to say to Lord Varaha Deva today. Oh Lord Varaha Deva, just like you dove into the ocean to look for your devotee, Bhumi Devi, and brought her to the surface and defended her by killing the demon Hiranyaksha, please dive into our hearts and please protect our Bhakti Lata beads so they can grow and we can attain Krishna's love and protect us from all anarthas and aparads and all the demons that come at us. So please, Varaha, with your mighty mace and your Sudarshan chakra and your mighty hoof, please protect us and bless us that we can attain our destination, Krishna Prem, Goloka Vrindavan. Ki Jai Ho! Hari Hari Bo! Jai! Okay, bless. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bo. Also our Ekadasi fast. So be mindful that today we should engage our 11 senses in serving the Lord. We get extra credit.